Hey guys, I'm back hoping that you are enjoying your holiday. I just got through watching Married to Medicine. I know I should have watched it on Sunday, but I was busy. So, nonetheless, I'm doing it today. It was a good episode. I actually enjoyed the episode. However, there were a few things that were just so blatantly production, like you can see the producers made these moves, and those are those are the type of things that I really don't like. Is when you can see something that's so blatantly produced as opposed to organic. The whole thing is produced, we know that, but it's just certain things that wouldn't normally happen. For example, Hadley having lunch with Sweet Tea. And that is just not something that she would do normally. Neither one. When I saw them having lunch together, I said, now this is a very unlikely situation because the last interaction that we saw between Sweet Tea and Heavenly wasn't a good one. When they were at this wine tasting, Sweet Tea and Heavenly were not confrontational, but not on a good page because Heavenly was, asking about this group that Sweet Tea was a member of. It was about young women dating older men. I don't know, something strange. And it just didn't come across very nice. And Sweet Tea's response wasn't nice. She would ask Heavenly, would she like to join? Heavenly was like, well, no, because my husband's only 6 months older than me, but Sweet Tea wasn't being genuine. She was trying to be a smart, when she said that. So again, it didn't show a positive connection. It would have been better had it been Simone because at least Simone and Sweet Tea seem to be okay. I think Simone is trying to act as though she semi likes Sweet Tea, but she really, I think Simone is just, I think she has the interest to bring on someone onto the show that could really kick Quad out, to be honest. I don't think she is all that thrilled about Quad. So if it's anti-Quad, she's okay with it, is the way I read Simone. Um, at the beginning of the episode, we see Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone, they get together, they having lunch. And they're talking about, their thoughts on Sweet Tea a little bit. And both of them are kind of like, they're not, they don't dislike her, but they don't like her either. I'll put it like that. It's kind of one of those kind of indifferent, like she's here. Um, kind of one of those types of things. Then they start talking about kids and the millennials and Gen Zs or whatever generation it is and all of that and how they are so entitled and how they want things done quickly. And because Sweet Tea was like, she's not Gen Z, I think she's millennial, but nonetheless, how she's overwhelmed and, she needs help with planning this wedding. So both Jackie and Simone looking like, well, I mean, what else do you do? Like, you don't have time to do it, or you can't hire a wedding planner. I'm like, Sweet Tea complained about Gregory is not helping. Did you expect? Well, I guess she did expect him to. I don't know. But they're like, Simone said, hey, when I was her age, I was in a private practice and I had a toddler and I still made sure to come home and get dinner cooked and all of that. So I don't understand what Sweet Tea is doing that's preventing her from having the time to do things that she would like to do. So this is when we get on into the entitled younger generation and how they want things done for them. I do see what Simone is saying. I think with Sweet Tea's situation, her moving to Atlanta, and I'm sure this wedding that she was originally trying to plan was probably going to happen a little bit later on down the line. And now that she's on this show, she has to speed things up. So it's not helping. So I think because of that, she's expecting Gregory to come through, but she don't really know Gregory that well, clearly. Now, she watched the show. I don't know if she thought by getting with Greg, even though she slid in the DMs and was making it seem as though she's going to be able to have this baby, I don't think she really knew who she was dealing with, but she's finding out now. So let's get on. We see that Dr. Jackie and Heavenly go over to Phaedra's house. And, I don't don't know. I think, is that the episode when they go to Phaedra's house? Yeah, they went to Phaedra's house, and Dr. Jackie is not. Wait a minute, was it Phaedra's house? Or was that the upcoming episode? I might be speaking out of turn on that. Let me move around from that. I think that's coming up next episode because I was also looking at previews for next episode. So never mind, because what the conversation centered around the aftermath of the bachelorette party. So let's go to Heavenly and Dr. Damien's house. And they got Alora. She's talking about going to FAMU, which is where Heavenly graduated from. But neither one don't want their daughter to go away to college. And it was actually a funny scene, but sad at the same time, because they don't want their daughter to move away. They want her to stay local so they can get to her right away. Her father was like, look, if something happened to you, I want to be able to get to you within less than an hour, and they were making jokes about, oh, well, the weather is so bad down there and they have hurricanes and the wind is very high. And I'm like, look, the weather, none of that makes any sense. You just don't want her to go away. And Alora's like, look, I'm going away to college. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the need to protect me, but I'm going to go away to school because I need to get away. I need to find my own path. And I like it. And yes, Alora did end up going to FAMU. So since we're talking about finding your own pathway, we see a scene with Dr. Simone and Cecil and the two boys, Miles, who is the oldest, and Michael. Michael is 20, and apparently he's transferred to a junior college. I don't know what happened to the university he went to initially. I don't know what the story is behind that, but he is transferred to a junior college. And then when he get enough of his prerequisites out the way, he will supposedly transfer to Georgia State. Now, I don't know what happened to Michael. He was on a basketball scholarship. He went to this small university in Tennessee, I think, and I don't know. Maybe he didn't, the grades, maybe he couldn't balance basketball and school. Maybe the grades just were not doing what they were supposed to do. Because generally speaking, it could be a combination of grades weren't up to par, and the parents were like, we're not going to pay for you, and you're just barely getting by. We're not paying for that. So I don't know. But nonetheless, he is attending a junior college. He has plans on going to law school. At least that's what he's saying right now. I'll say this about Michael. I think he will go to law school. I think that's definitely in the cards. I think he has a little bit more focus about him than his brother. Miles, I'm not really sure what's going on with Miles. And they did talk about, Miles went away to Howard. That didn't work out. Came back to Atlanta, decided to go to Georgia State University. That didn't work out. Took a year off. Now he's back and he's 25 years old or 24 years old, and he doesn't have any direction. And so they are, Simone and Cecil are trying to get them to understand, like, look, we're giving you a lot, but it's time for you to find your own pathway. We're not going to continue to fund your future. At some point, the buck needs to stop. And I think Michael was understanding to a certain extent. He was like, well, you can just get me an apartment. I don't have to come back and live, at the house. And they were like, so you want us to pay for your apartment while you go to school? He's like, it can be an investment property, child. They're so used to getting what they want. And Cecil and Simone have created a situation over the years of no matter what, your parents got your back financially. And that's what these boys are dealing with, young men now are dealing with. And it's going to be hard to say, we're stopping. I know in the next preview, they're telling that to Miles, like, look, we're going to give you one more year of financial backing, but after that, you got to figure it out on your own. So we'll see if that's going to happen. I don't think they're going to have them out there destitute on the street, but if you're footing the bill for everything, they don't have a reason to say, I'm going to strike out on my own. That's just my way of thinking, but it was nice to see that conversation. It was really nice. Another family scene. Eugene took his boys to a upscale, swanky new athletic store, like, they got fancy gym shoes, probably gym shoes you wouldn't see normally at any other department store. So while they're there, they could have this continuation conversation about sex education. And the oldest son asked Eugene about, well, what's a period? And Eugene explains it. And he's like, why wouldn't you ask your mom that? But then he went on, he get in the confession. He's like, well, you know what? I probably explained it better than Toya could. It's good the boys feel comfortable talking to their dad about things that it's a little embarrassing. You can see still the embarrassment on their face, like, okay, we have to talk to our parents about something that we really don't want to think about when you think about our parents. But that was good. It was a good conversation. We found out that, Eugene, dad, used to, he was he worked at a maximum security prison. He was a high ranking person, like a lieutenant there. And so he's very much about order, discipline is something that's lacking on Simone and Cecil's side, like the discipline, part of it. Being told like you got to do tasks, and if you don't do these tasks, you don't get these things. There's a disciplinary code that needs to be instilled, and Simone and Cecil didn't do that. Whereas I think Eugene and Toya are going to do that. I don't think they're going to be in the same situation like Cecil and Simone's boys. I just don't believe as they get older. So that was that scene. So then we get to the scene with Heavenly and Sweet Tea. Now again, this is the scene that I thought was not authentic. I don't think Sweet Tea would have called up Heavenly and vice versa to go out to lunch, because they didn't have a good rapport since they met. But they out having drinks, and Sweet Tea is sitting up there letting it be known that Quab was right. And I'm like, well, how would you know that Quab was right unless you're a fan of the show? You obviously have been watching this show, and that Gregory just doesn't feel like he needs to do anything as it pertains to this wedding planning. And then he pulled this trick on her about, since Sweet Tea doesn't always set the alarm when she leaves the house, he decided to teach her a lesson and scare her into thinking that someone was in the house and they had guns, they were robbing them. I'm like, why would he? That's not the way to that's not the way to get to your wife, to make her understand the importance, or your fiance, the importance of setting the alarm. Like, that's just cruel to me. I feel like there's something. I'm really concerned about the types of things that he recommends to his patients. He is a psychiatrist, okay? And if you thought that was nice and cute and effective to do that to me, it's emotional abuse you're pulling. That's what that comes across. I don't know what he's recommending to his patients. I would be concerned. But yeah, he's not, he reminds her that he pays for the majority of things. He's reminding Sweet Tea that he is the man with the purse strings. He is reminding her, like, look, I have my expectations. I want dinner ready when I come in the house. I'm the man. You have to listen to me, and that's that. And I'm not sitting around planning no wedding. I have no interest in that. So she's complaining to Heavenly all about this stuff, and she's, stressed out about it, blah, blah, blah. Heavenly's like, oh, okay. Heavenly is seeing pretty much what everybody else is starting to see as it pertains to, what everybody else has known about Dr. G. It's just that now Sweet Tea is on the receiving end of it. And here's what I think Sweet Tea thought was going to happen. She thought she can come in, she can change the game. She can come in and change this man, and he is just going to be a different person. You starting off on the wrong foot. You can't change a person. What you think you know of a person, as you get to know them, you see who they are. And when he's telling you what he's not going to do, the support and the communication that you're looking for, the effective communication, you're not getting it. You're just not. And you're not going to be able to change him and make him into something that he is not. It's just not going to happen. But all right, you're on your own with that one, girlfriend. So now we get to the two parties. We got the bachelor party and the bachelorette party. So starting with the bachelor party, they pregame at Cecil's house, in the boom boom room downstairs, right? Everybody gets there. They're having drinks, they're laughing, telling jokes and all of that good stuff. Um, then they get into the Sprinter, and in the Sprinter, the strippers are there, and I'm telling you, it was very they were, hey, it was very P Valley, if you will. It was. Hey, they was doing their thing. We see Cecil. Now Cecil ain't been around for the first two episodes. He was in the Dominican Republic for reasons unknown, and now here he is with the strippers, and he's quite excited. But Dr. Jackie told him, "Don't put your hands on them." Okay. It was wild. It was wild. They went to the strip club, and Gregory making comments about on the sprint before they got in the club. He was like, "Oh, I might be pulling my pants down," and then he gets in the club, and it's just Greg was acting like he's never been around strippers before. It was so like, and this is his second time getting married. I'm like, this was really weird to watch this 50-something-year-old man act so brand new when it comes to these ladies, and they're all over him and whatever the case may be. Even Eugene said at one point, I'm trying to keep this situation from going where I think Gregory wants it to go. And it was very apparent where Gregory was trying to go with things. Heavenly's husband, Damon, he was just sitting there, just hands to himself. He was not trying to get in trouble again like he did down in Mexico. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be keeping it cool. I ain't doing anything." Gregory talking about something. I can invite, one of the ladies to the wedding. And Eugene's like, "You can't invite these ladies to your wedding." I don't, okay. Again, he's acting real brand new. I don't know what to say about this behavior. I don't know if he's just, I don't know. I don't know. Is he used to being a loser? Is getting married the right thing for him to do? All right. We get to the ladies' side, and Toya is the one who's throwing this party, and she is having a pamper party. So she got the guys, they're all there. They got no shirts on. They got the boxes that says hot and whatever. So all the ladies, well, most of the ladies look really nice in their lingerie. They have very nice lingerie. They look really good. Sweet Tea's outfit, it just wasn't the best fit for her. And I was a little concerned about her outfit. Like, girl, why do you not? Again, she needs a stylist. Once she starts working with a stylist, I think if she comes back next season, things will look a lot better. I think her parents will look a lot better, because right now she's struggling. She is clearly struggling. So, like I said, the men are there. They're giving the ladies massages and foot massages, and they putting whipped cream on them. And, it's a pamper party, and they're adhering to the ladies' needs. But it's nice. It's really cute. So then Sweet Tea gets a phone call from her wedding planner. And the wedding planner was like, "Look, we have to move to something. We have to, because of all of the moves we had to make from your original location, it's going to cost you now $13,000, something like that." And she's just like really, really stressed about this. She's like, she blows up. She blows up at her sister. She's screaming, she's hollering. And I think it's a combination of mental exhaustion of just trying to plan this wedding. I think that, and it's costing more and more money. And I don't believe that Bravo is paying the 100% of the bill. So, if any of the bill, to be honest. So that's part of her frustration that she's been holding on to, trying to get acquainted with these new group of ladies, and they're not her friend. They're Quad's friends, well, associates. So that's another issue. Adjusting to living with Greg, which hasn't been simple. He has made it very clear. In one scene, he even told her when he was talking about the expenses for the wedding, Greg, when he said, "Look, do I charge you rent to live here?" I'm like, wow. Like, he makes it very clear, this is my house, okay? And I could charge you rent if you want to feel like you're doing something. That's the attitude it was. I was like, wow, okay. So I think a lot of that, and the wedding, I believe that this wedding probably got pushed up because of the fact that they're on this show. I think she would have had more time had she not been on this show. I think that because she's on the show, Bravo is saying we need certain things to be done, and you got to invite, blah, blah. It's a lot of stuff that she has to deal with that she didn't originally plan to begin with. So it's a lot of pressure, a lot add on, and she just completely blew up. So as a result of that, so while she's in the back and her, she's going in on her sister, she's screaming, she's having a meltdown. Heavenly decides to tell the group that the conversation she had with Sweet Tea. She decides to have this conversation with the ladies. And really what Heavenly was saying wasn't, she was saying that, basically that they should wait to get married. They really need to get to understand and know each other. They are having issues with communication. There's a lot going on that isn't right. This isn't the right time to get married. And the fact that she said that out loud, Simone was like, wait a minute. Why are you putting this out in the forefront in front of everybody? Because there were other people there that's not part of the show, like the maid of honor. And she's sitting there looking at Heavenly like she ain't saying anything. But I'm fairly certain that she, if not 100% certain, that she went back and told Sweet Tea what Heavenly said. Heavenly, although, again, I don't disagree with what Heavenly was saying, and all the rest of the ladies that's on the show didn't disagree. But it's the fact that you're in a room with people, you're in mixed company, okay? And you're on camera, you're in mixed company, and you're saying things about a person that you don't really know, but you're letting it be known that they shouldn't be getting married because they got all these problems going on. And you didn't really read the room. You didn't take a look at your surroundings and you're aware of who's in the room. Sometimes everything that you think don't need to come out. That's Heavenly's problem. And we see how this translates into next episode because Heavenly and Dr. Name they got removed off of the invite list. And I'm sure it had something to do with Heavenly in the comments that she made at the bachelorette party. But anyway, so we got that. Sweet Tea comes back out with her sister. And she's calmed down and whatever. And then Phaedra gets a phone call. Here comes Quad. Quad comes upstairs. She looks great. She gives Sweet Tea a gift from Victoria's Secrets, girl. Okay, now you could have did better than that, but whatever the case may be, that was shaving itself. And then, she's sitting there with Sweet Tea, and Sweet Tea was happy to see her. She really was. It was Toya that was having the meltdown. And what Toya was saying wasn't, again, now this wasn't, first and foremost, Toya and Quad are not getting along. We know that the problems they've had. Toya, have accused Quad of messing around with married men. Quad accused Toya and Eugene of setting up, Anila's place last season, breaking into their place. It was crazy. So they're having their problems. So they're not seeing eye to eye. So of course Toya isn't happy to see Quad. And then she's telling Sweet Tea, she's like, girl, a week ago, you were telling us to stop talking about Quad. You don't want to hear anything more about Quad. And yet here she is, and you ask her to sit down next to you, like it's okay, like your attitude has changed. And then Simone tried to chime in, and Toya stopped her immediately, like, girl, honestly, Simone, we know you really just don't care. So let's not pretend. Toya was not here for any of the fakeness, okay? The fakeness that was going on in that room. And so finally, so Toya told Phaedra, because she wanted to know who invited Quad, like where did this come from? Who invited her? And Phaedra said, well, I did because everybody was asking about Quad. Where is she? She's right here. And so Toya was like, girl, look, you need to take your friend and escort her out because she's not welcome. And I was like, ooh, wee. So, and she also let Sweet Tea know that this is my party I'm throwing for you. So I'm telling you who the guest list is going to be and who it ain't going to be. And this chick right here got to go. So anyway, so Quad was like, Sweet Tea, if you want me to leave, just let me know. And she was like, I think it'll be best for you to leave. So Quad was like, well, okay. I know she was partially embarrassed. Okay. I know there was some level of embarrassment there. Who wants to get invited to a party and then told you got to go? Well, she wasn't invited by the hostess. She was invited through Phaedra. And it was for the purpose of just being shady. Quad knew doggone well she should not have been at that bachelorette. There was no need for her to be at that bachelorette party at all. No need. It made no sense. But for the sake of the show and creating a moment, that's why Quad was there. And that really is the end of the episode. Toy was so outdone after that. Toy was like, girl, I'm over it. I'm done. I guess that whole moment just threw her for a loop. So she was ready to leave anyway. So Quad pretty much did what she shook the room. She left because she got put out. And there it is. So that was the episode. Like I said, it was a good episode. Some of these very produced moments, though, did irk me a little bit, like that last scene with Quad coming, girl. We know that wasn't authentic. And the scene with Heavenly and Sweet Tea having lunch, again, not authentic. The family scenes were authentic scenes. I enjoyed those. That's all I got. I'll come back with my Real Housewives of Potomac review. Talk to you guys later. Peace.